You ever genuinely like being around someone and still hope they cancel? Yeah, that's not being flaky. It might actually be an autistic thing nobody talks about. And most books and professionals get this completely wrong. So today we're talking about the 5 reasons people exhaust autistic brains even when we love them. Let's dive in. Miscommunications and responses from others. Okay, if you're autistic and have felt misunderstood basically all your life, then you know about miscommunication. It's like you're speaking another language, even when you're not. And there's a few parts within this. First, the whole reading between the lines thing. It's like a whole secret language going on. And I'm still trying to get all the info from what was said. Autistic people are often very literal. So what we say is what we mean. So these assumptions show up all the time, and other people usually don't realize it. Like the other day, I was sitting with Debbie eating breakfast. I'm thinking about a drive we needed to make later, but we're in an area with really bad internet service. So I asked Debbie, hey, do you have internet on your phone? Her assumption, I wanted to use her phone right then and there. So she says yes, and she starts handing me her phone. But I don't want it. That's not what I asked. I wanted to know for later, when I would need it for directions for driving. But she assumed that since I was done eating, I'm always done first, she thought I wanted it now. Nope. But now we have to go through an explanation of why I wanted to know. Now, it's not Debbie's fault, but this happens all the time. Her brain is 5 steps beyond what I said, but I just wanted to know exactly what I asked. So explaining more than I wanted is tiring. Extra communication, extra effort, extra for my brain. And extra trips to the bathroom. This shows up as another issue, getting overloaded with information. The responses from others can lead to overwhelm, but I really just needed exactly what I asked for. No fluff, no extra steps. I get a bunch of other information, and sometimes I just need time to think. Like at a restaurant, I'm thinking over the options that were just given, and the server thinks I need 10 more. Ugh. Now you just interrupted my thinking and overloaded my brain. Come back in 20 minutes? And if any of this sounds familiar, we've made a free quiz to dive deeper into what tires your brain out. Because we're all a little different, so understanding yourself is the first step. Links in the description. Grab it when we're done. Different processing speeds. Here's another thing people really don't get. The different processing speed of autistic people. No, it's not about IQ or ability or even interest. It's literally how long it takes for your brain to process something and respond to it. We might have ninja-like reflexes, but struggle to respond to a question like, how are you? That's sometimes because our brains are running a bunch of quick simulations of the question through our filters. We're trying to come up with the right response, which takes time. If you're like me, there's not a lot of autopilot responses, but we also live in a fast-paced world. Saying you need a minute to think about how was your weekend is kind of weird to a lot of people. They don't get it. So autistic people often have to either pre-plan our responses, which is impossible to do for every exchange. Been there, done that. Or we have to be okay with not really getting to respond, which also doesn't feel right. And when things don't feel right, it actually slows our processing speed down more. It's like stacking a bunch of weights on your brain and asking it to run a marathon. And I don't have legs, people. And is this consistent? Of course not. I'll touch on that more in number 5, but it really shows up everywhere. Ever commit to something before you even realized what you agreed to? Or find yourself nodding like a bobblehead when you're asked something, but you didn't hear what the question? Or the last 20 minutes? Not because you zoned out. You're still thinking about the very first part of the conversation. Or you zoned out. Yep. That's processing speed. Same with tests or instructions. Oh, do we have to talk about tests? It's making my butt cramp just thinking about it. It wasn't that I didn't get the concepts. Sometimes the instructions were unclear. Show my work? Okay, I'll draw a picture. Wait, it's a math problem, but that's how I think about math. No. Got in trouble for it the last time. 10 minutes left. I'm still on the 3rd question. Okay, a word problem. Johnny has 17 apples. What the heck? Does Johnny live on an orchard? Where did he get those? Maybe he has a big family. Wait. Read the rest of the question. Wait, what? Why is everyone getting up? What's going on here? And as an adult, it continues, just hidden as other questions, even at home.
Hey, what do you want to do for dinner?
What do I want? I'd really like steak. Do we have steak? Wait, she's already given me choices and I missed them. Yep. Until you understand that your processing speed might be really different from everyone else, it actually gets worse as an adult. Everyone expects you to have the answers right away or the right response immediately until you get old. Then it seems like everyone is okay with you slowing down. So in the meantime, I'll just be over here overthinking every response, panicking when I feel rushed, and hanging out in the bathroom. Body language and subtle signals. You're in the middle of a conversation and you're really getting into it. I mean, they asked you a question and it just happens to be your special interest, your passion. So you're telling them.
Yeah, lime washing is a really tricky part when it comes to remodeling these old manor houses.
And you already know this talk is leading to design ideas. Woo-hoo! And then someone else, like Debbie, swoops in.
You can't do it with these old manor houses.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Debbie. I'm just talking to Steve about construction and remodeling of these old manor houses.
Hey, did you need to go? He was trying to leave.
How did you know that? He didn't even say anything.
Well, apparently all those subtle signals, tapping the keys, looking away more and more, those subtle signs are things we're supposed to just notice, register, and act on. But it's not that simple. I don't always register those signs. That would require me to not only keep my thoughts in my head as I'm talking, but also listen to what the other person is saying. And now, what they aren't saying, and their facial expressions, that's a lot, especially when all of that requires more processing for me. And I don't like making eye contact, even with cats. It's the same when I leave a conversation. A lot of the time, I genuinely thought it was over. Great chat. See ya! And we all agree, but apparently we did not. Just because my brain heard, we're done here, apparently that's not always the case. So the timing, the invisible language, the changes in tone or posture, a lot of neurotypicals seem to know.
Ooh, she's uncomfortable.
Oh, he's bored.
Ooh, they don't want to talk about that.
And me? I'm just trying to remember why I walked into the room. How did I get here? What were we talking about? Why is there a stick of butter in my hand? It's literally a guessing game, one that me and a lot of autistic people don't get very naturally. Probably not the best social guessers. And all that thinking and guessing, my brain power, more energy, and more exhaustion. I like doing things with people. That doesn't mean sitting. Here's something most people don't get. I like being with people. I just don't always love talking or listening to people talk or chew or breathe. I guess this is something introverts have in common too, but the reasons are really different. Sitting and just talking, it's okay sometimes, but it's mentally tiring, especially with someone who doesn't like silence. People who get uncomfortable with quiet. You know who I mean. Some people act like silence is the enemy, but to me and a lot of autistic brains, silence is calm, refreshing, and so necessary. And another hard part about just sitting and talking, knowing when to jump in, especially when you're talking with more than 3 people. 3 can be nice. Sometimes I can zone out and the other 2 can keep it going. But knowing when to jump into the conversation, that's energy. It feels like interrupting or like waiting for a spot that never comes. I do better when I'm moving, walking, doing something together, building something, organizing something. When I'm in motion, I can think better. My brain can process, and I don't need to hyperfocus on the other person's face, eye contact, body language, because I'm not looking at them. The expectations change. I really like that. So talking while walking, we're side by side. Sometimes we can pause the chats and just walk. Enjoy nature. My brain flows better. Ideas come more naturally. Now this will be different for everyone, but when I'm stuck at a table and the conversation is boring, my brain just stops participating. It's like, nope, we're clocking out. Why? Because it's trying to save my energy and itself from melting. I'm melting. Unrealistic expectations, because people don't actually understand autism. Here's the big one. Most people have wildly unrealistic expectations of what we can handle. And by people, that also can include us, especially if you're late identified and only realized you were autistic as an adult. There's a lot of relearning, and it all comes down to one thing. People don't actually understand autistic energy. Our energy isn't steady, it's spiky. And that's especially true if you also have ADHD too. Some days, I'm awake, regulated, functioning like a normal adult. Other days, someone asks, "How are you?" And my brain just gets stuck in shutdown mode for hours. So when people invite me to things, I get stressed before I even answer. I don't know how future me is going to feel. Will I be regulated or overwhelmed and in burrito mode? Who knows? And when I cancel, people get confused because they don't understand what it's like to be autistic. That we have to constantly be aware of energy. That daily life can push us too far. That one more flicker of that light in the grocery store is going to lead me to abandon my cart and send me home hungry, foodless, and about to have a meltdown. I hope I didn't leave ice cream in the cart this time. And here's the real kicker. Sometimes we forget about this too. On a calm day, I'm like, I'm feeling great. I'm totally ready to try that restaurant Debbie mentioned. I'll even invite her friends. I've forgotten my sensory needs, my social battery. And then the day arrives. I didn't sleep well. I'm exhausted and overwhelmed. My skin hurts. I can't mask. I don't want to go anywhere. So how do I explain? Past Chris made a plan that today's Chris can't do.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
It can lead to a lot of misunderstanding and then feelings of guilt. Why couldn't I just push through? Because That's why you're exhausted. Having expectations of yourself or trying to live up to the expectations of others that aren't taking into account your autistic brain. So the start is understanding. Share our videos with your people. Take the free quiz to better understand what hidden drains are quietly exhausting your brain. Make small adjustments, like telling people,
I'd love to join, but honestly, I just don't have the energy.
quick, direct, and honest. And pay attention to how your body and brain feel. This is just the start. We'll have a lot more on this coming up. So if you're neurodivergent, you can love people and still find them exhausted. It's not because you're difficult. You're not weird or antisocial. Your brain is just operating differently. We'll have a lot more on this coming, so be patient and kind to yourself. And if you had a Me Too moment or have something that works for you, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to check out the quiz. I linked in the description. If you want more videos to keep learning, watch this video next.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.